Hello YouTube fans, Madarans here, and welcome to a few replays with the new Crystron supports. So 5 new monsters have been put on Salvation and they are really nice. The deck itself is really fun to play. It's like Zing 2.0 and I definitely enjoy it. So I've got a few replays today and I'll go into a minor dev profile. Won't be the proper official one until we get the spell trap support, but hopefully it'll be something you guys can test out and see if you like it. It's definitely an archetype I do like. So I start with my Rosenix, so I destroy my Ariadne and set to face downs. I've now got Quant on the board at level 5, which is alright, and I can tag into my monster, special summon onto the first turn and go for a level 4 synchro. I go for Coral Dragon, he flips his dimension barrier and stops them doing stuff. I vanish off my Rosenix to get a little bit of defense for additional level 5 synchro in my opponent's turn, but he's playing Klee, so I can't really do much with that. He equips the sacrifice, and that kind of is not a bit annoying, so I get Search on Rosenix, get a Quan out of the deck, sing for Amatrix, and then go for Phoenixion. I hardly go into this, to be fair, in the deck, but when I do, it does get its mileage. So Phoenixion crashes with Cleafort and gets a Coral Dragon back from the graveyard, which is very much the MVP of this duel. He sets a bad aim, but he doesn't want to play his Cephalopod because Coral Dragon will be easily destroyed. Coral Dragon discards that, and the Cleafort down is destroyed because it doesn't target a specific spell trap. I get a bit hasty and some of my Citri, which I shouldn't have done, but he summons the Cephalopod, runs it over, 1300 damage, and then I draw into Sizen, sink for a Catasta, and attack into his monster automatic destruction, and then the error occurs. So error occurring is a bit of a theme for my day, to be fair. I had a brilliant replay with Zing Crystrons to show you as well, where Moonlight Rose Dragon was literal MVP and screwed him over to the point where I ended up winning the duel. But it got screwed so early in the duel that I can't actually show it because it's really bad. But I've got some other ones to show you, so I hope you enjoyed those. On to the next replay. The second replay is just to show what I can do with an opening hand if I use the Ancient Gear engine. I've dropped this engine because it's a bit gloggy, but this is what you can do. The level 3 special summon Citrine, Gear Tower, special summon the Gadgetron Chimera, go for Beredo, special summon Sizen, Transmodify, go into Rosenix, go into another Beredo, special summon the Nispachi, and then that's where the replay gets screwed over again. But essentially I would get 2 draws from that, and it's a great way to incorporate Gear Tower into the deck. I would only say 1 monster and 2 Gear Tower if you're going to try that engine, maybe 3 Gear Tower if you want to see it more commonly and have the combo, but with the bricky pieces you can have with Nispachi, the Sizen, and the Chimera, you have that option to brick more, particularly if you're using the Brilliant Fusion engine as well. The draw would have been the Storm Striker, and I can't remember the other one, I think it was Brilliant Fusion maybe. But essentially, I think he scooped straight away or some kind of error happened, but never mind. This is just an example of a hand. On to the next replay. Next duel against Monarchs. My Monarch opponent unfortunately bricked, but this is an example of why Brilliant Fusion is brilliant in this deck, unfortunately. And also an example of why drawing Sizen is really bad. So, we go for our combos, get Gear Tower, get for a Sync for a Beredo, special summon Dispatchy because I forgot that was in the hand. So I only get 1 draw because I would have special summoned that and went for another synchro as well. My opponent opens up with Reasoning, I don't know why it is. There's a lot of Crystons at that point, but he summons a Mithra and he has nothing else to do anything with. I think for Moonlight, bounce that back. Trick Clown special summons itself. Then I can tribute out to Trick Clown with my Rosenix to summon at the level 5, sync again for Catasta, Terrifying Knight, normal summon, Fryston, destroy it, go for Quan, and go for 4 synchros. 3 in 1 turn is very nice. This is how awesome this deck can be, because they're only restricted to once per turn per card, not restricted for once per turn for all of them, to be fair. None of them would have that effect, to be fair, but you can do a lot of things with this. The Seraphire Knight giving the additional summon can be very helpful in this deck, and it's also a target. But when she goes, Brilliant Fusion stays, so you have another target to destroy later on if you need to, which is awesome. On to the next replay. The next game was against Red Eyes. It may not be the best Red Eyes build, but he has a good opening, to be fair. Well, goodish. We got the Prey attacking out the Chimera, going for a Synchro, having the Frightstone on the board. I don't know why. I don't know what I was doing at that point. Oh yeah, I remember. I was going for Black Rose. I completely forgot for a second there. But then Quanda, then Black Rose. This is why you don't step before you attack. Because you can be Black Rose, something obscure could happen and blow away that back row when you least expect it. So apologies for that complete forgetting moment there, but yeah, I completely forgot what was happening. So yeah, he goes for Blackstone, he goes for the red flare, runs over my monster. Now I have a search, because Frightstone can be banished from the graveyard to get a search. I top deck a Brilliant Fusion, get that Seraphonite out, Trick Clan summon on the board, and then Frightstone banish, get that little Citri, summon Sizen, Zing for Omega, and Black Rose Moonlight. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon is an MVP in this deck. It's so easily available, and it just does quite a lot. If you open up with Brilliant Fusion and Machine Duplication with either Citri or even the level 1, you have the potential to bring out Crystal Wing, at least one Crystal Wing, and possibly more Synchros to come. Probably Moonlight. I think the best opening I've got, and probably will have that replay, is... Yeah, I do have that replay. I'll save for then, actually. It'll be the next one. But Omega going to return one of those to the graveyard. Omega is also a technical boss monster for this deck, but that's about it. You don't get this out too commonly, to be fair. They were right to restrict the levels and restrict the extra deck, but Omega still is possible in the deck, definitely. So on to the next replay. Second to last replay is against Kozmo. So we got Brilliant Fusion and the Dream opening for this deck. So Trick Clown, take 1,000, normal summon Citri, Machine Dupe, because there's three Machine Dupe targets in this deck. Charge Warrior gets Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and then get Moonlight. I had an additional normal summon as well, so I could have made double Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon that turn, which was amazing. Amazing for me, at least. So, Crystal Wing and Zincan gets that, and I get Strike on that, because Ariadne is great in this deck as well. Definitely good in this deck. I draw a Gear Time, which is dead. Don't want to normal summon, but I know what my opponent's going for. In case of back row, so I'm going for Saffron Lord Omega next to put some pressure on there. Put the Wicked Witch in the graveyard so he can't get it back to his hand. He goes for Reasoning, and I declare 8 and hit the Dark Destroyer, but he has Call the Void, which is annoying. I tag out the Call the Haunted. He gets a Dark Destroyer on that. I have to negate it with Crystal Wing. He summons out 4, which I don't know why. I think he may have misclicked, or he thought that would be good with limited removal against this, but the Honest ability crashes it anyway. Maybe he thought limited removal would screw over Crystal Wing before it activated, but then again it's a Mantry effect and my thing just died again. Always that issue. 1 second, I'll rescue this. Replays. If I can even click it. Oh, really? Wrong one. There it is. So yeah, the little bit of bugs and relays at the moment, but that's getting fixed. I think this one of my sound files is corrupt. But yeah, that's you went for that, and Crystal Wing. It's just an example for Crystal Wing, to be fair. And then we have the Crystron final duel. So this is against Shark, swap the things. He's got Rosenix, and he summons out the Citrite Iron Call, which is a great card to use in the deck, and he goes for Kendama, turn 1. There's that Bottomless on the board. I thought it was a strike. It's still the same predicament for me. Getting Ariadne, search out a strike, sync for Amatrix, then I can beat over his monster. I have control of the board due to my strike, which is great. And then he summons back his Kendama. He can't normal summon on that turn, so that's all he could do. So Amatrix can run over again, then Smoker can attack. I can tag into Citri, have a nice defense. I love the way they can tag into a defense at will. He goes for Machine Dupe for that little Precipice, whatever the hell it's called. He just goes for his Gary Ariadne. I strike his prey, and then he can't use the rest of the effects because it's once per turn for all of them, which is a shame. But we can now search for our prey, go for Quandam, and try and run over his monster. I thought this was lower. And then go for my own Phoenixion, banishes Guiding Ariadne, so he doesn't have a choice to use that card with. He banishes one from the graveyard, special summon Citri, goes for Amatrix, but I strike it, and he goes for his Kendama since he is not normal summoned that turn. He is only specialed. And I top deck, I don't know, I think it was Sizen. And I go for my Moonlight and bounce it back to the extra deck for game, which was great. That's going to have to be the best replay for this video, unfortunately, because of the Young Zing one. But we'll go on to the deck profile. And onto the deck profile. So this deck is still work in progress. We're still missing the spell cards and the trap cards possibly. But if we get Tenki, then we get something brilliant for this deck. I'm trying to make it as consistent as I could with what I got, but it's still a little bit lacking. It won't win everything. It will be a decent fun deck at the moment. So we have one Garnet for the Brilliant Fusion engine. Originally it was a 2, but unfortunately I needed a Regeki and had no other space for it. I have Trick Clown for the Brilliant Fusion target. Guiding Ariadne is also a Brilliant Fusion target, but Trick Clown helps so much better in this. 2 Smoger, mainly because we don't have any spell card searching. I may switch it between 2 Smoger to 3 Smoger and 2 with the Fry, because searching at the monsters isn't that good. It isn't the best. It's like Shaddoll Hedgehog. You'd rather have its search for a spell rather than search for the monster in most cases. But you can't ignite 2, so technically I think Smoger may be the best at the moment if the spell support is like Tenki. If the spells are quite trash, then Smoger will be probably kept at 2. I may bump up to 3 and 3. I'm not sure at the moment. Then we have 3 Frystone, which searches out the monster from the deck. They all have a generic ability, the ones that are non-tuners, to destroy a card you control, to special summon a Crystron from your deck, but you can only special summon from the extra deck, and only machine synchro monsters. If it had been just machines, we could have mixed this with Dynamist, but unfortunately we cannot, which is a shame, because this would benefit from Pendulums. It would definitely benefit. But other than that, it's pretty decent. It's a good restriction to stop them being too overpowering, because I can see this deck being overpowering. Then we've got Crystron Precerator, which is this little one that looks like Gemini Turtle. I think these probably have some kind of storyline to do with the Zephyr Arc, probably the continuation, because we are getting support from Clifford, which seems to think that the storyline is going that way, and Crystrons are the Gemnite upgrade, but only time will tell. Precerator can banish itself to special summon Crystron from your hand, which is actually quite a decent effect, and it's 500 attack, so you can machine dupe into this. So you can machine dupe, get 3 of these out, Precerator destroy itself, special summon the level 2, sync for Quandam, and then in your opponent's turn sync for Stardust Charge Warrior, which is really nice. If it had been a level 3 that was 500 attack, then that would be pretty broken, because you'd be able to go for the level 5 and then in your opponent's turn go for Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which would be absolutely brilliant. Or Black Rose Dragon, to be fair, because if you summon the level 1, that would do it as well. 1 Rosenix, because his graveyard effect is the least effective. It special summons a token. It can be quite nice, but it isn't the best. If the token didn't have issues with Transmodify, then it would be brilliant, but other than that, it's a bit subpar. So only 1 of that at the moment, but transmodifying it into it with Karakuris is quite nice. Then we have triple Citri, since Citri is the best Crystal in the deck, because you can destroy the Smuggun or the Frystone and special summon the Citri from your deck, and then in your opponent's turn special summon a level 5 by banishing it and the level 3 in your graveyard, which is absolutely lovely indeed. She is definitely the best card in this deck at the moment. Then we have triple Crystron Quan. Both of these are machine duplication targets, which is awesome, and you can do a lot of things with that. If you have machine dupe with this and Brilliant Fusion, you've got Crystal Wing guaranteed. If you have it with this, you've got Crystal Wing and Black Rose Moonlight Dragon and a possible other plays if you draw into something brilliant with Stardust Charge Warrior. Then we have triple Gang Ariadne to support our back row. Searching out counter traps is always great, and Gary Ariadne definitely benefits from that because she gains her search through destruction, which is great. Plus, it's a spell card technically, so putting in the scale doesn't sacrifice your normal summon, which can be very nice indeed. Then the Karakuri engine of 1 Sizen and 1 Nisbachi. Originally it was 2 Beredo in the extra deck, but I had to cut it down to add in the second level 5, just because the level 5 is actually one of the cornerstones of this deck. So yeah, Beredo, so you don't clog only 2 targets. 1 for 1 because you can special summon the Quan from the deck. Reasoning because your opponent won't know straight off the bat if you open up with it. And even if they do, they have to be very clever with what level they choose. The most common one is 3, but they may not want to give you the tokens, which will be an issue. Either way, they're probably screwed as long as you don't hit the 4, because the 4 doesn't really give you much benefit, or the 2. 4 and 2 don't give you as much benefit. Then triple Transmodify, brilliant card in this deck because you can just turn the level 2 into a level 3. Well, this one. Then destroy itself and get the level 2 back again, or do other plays of that vice versa, which is really awesome indeed. Transmodify from this level 3 into a level 4 to go into Karakuri is quite good too. Triple Machine Duplication, 3 targets, definitely deserves a spot on the play in the deck. Then triple Brilliant Fusion for that extra double summon and an instant level 5, level 4 on the board, which means you can do lovely synchro plays with it. It's a very needed card, definitely a staple in this deck. 1 Regeki for that powerhouse of Regeki, and you can shuffle it back if Omega is destroyed. 2 Twin Twisters to blow away back row, and discard cost can ignite your graveyard with a target for Citri. And then triple strike and a warning as the Solemn Brigade for this deck. You can add in the Scolding, but I think it's a bit cloggy if you're going to have 5 counter traps. And onto the extra deck, we have 2 Kwandam, which is our formula Synchron essentially. Synchron your opponent's turn. This can be great to bring out Black Rose Dragon, although Citri and Quan can't do it. Kwandam can, which is really all you need is another level 3 on the board, which is great. And when they are destroyed by battle or card effect, they all have the generic ability of synchros to special summon a Crystron from the graveyard. That's not a synchro type. Well, synchro type card, except for Phoenix Viola, you can choose anything, which is pretty nice indeed. Then 1 Catasta because it's a level 5 machine, which you can summon on your first turn. 2 Crystron Amatrix. Originally this was 1 of, but after playing with this card, it's definitely a 2 of. When it's synchro summoned, you can change all phase of special summon monsters your opponent controls to defense. So it has a quite linear defensive tactic, which can be very nice, but can be easily be baited out because the level 2 is really, really weak. And when it's destroyed, you gain that Crystron revival ability. 1 Stardust Charge Warrior and 1 Coral Dragon as draw support, and Coral Dragon can get your Crystons into the graveyard, which is lovely. Black Rose Dragon to do it in your opponent's turn, you'll probably never do it in your own turn. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, your Floodgate, very much MVP of this deck. Very easy access to it, and it's just very fun to have this card on the board. 1 Beredo to get some draw. Well, originally it was draws, but now it's just going to be a draw. But I really want to keep the level 4 in there. The level 4 synchro option level 4 tuner option is really good in this deck. Then we have 1 save from Lord Omega to put back our monsters into the graveyard and annoy our opponent. And then Crystal Wing as our pseudo boss monster, because Crystal Wing is great, particularly if you have strikes in the back row, because then monster effects are never going to happen. Then we got Crystron Phoenixion, the boss monster, and one of the best cards in the deck, because of its ability to basically have his Feather Duster, but banishment, no destruction, and also gets rid of them at the graveyard as well, which can be great against Monarchs, because you can banish off their trap card, you can banish off all those annoying things that they need to continue their game states. And when a synchro summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target any other monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So I did that with Coral Dragon, which is nice. I can also revive Moonlight, Crystal Wing, or Omega, which is great. And then 1 Stardust Warrior. In testing, originally I had actually made this, but I haven't made it as much since. I don't think I've actually made it other than the original Dueling Network testing. So yeah, I may take this out in the future, but essentially you summon out Kwandam and Stardust Charge Warrior in 1 turn. You can go into Stardust Warrior on your opponent's turn, which is nice, but by the looks of things, it's not going to happen consistently. And then one Seraphine Knife for that double summon. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile and replays. I know they weren't the best replays, but I wanted to put something up with this, and I hope they was decent enough. Unfortunately, some of the replays were issued. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see more content. Please leave comments below suggestions for this deck or suggestions for my channel in general. If you want to see what I'm streaming, the link to my Facebook page will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. Matt Durant signing out.